mute. Everybody on mute.
Hi,
Hi.
everyone.
Hello. Blessings. Okay. You can go ahead and mute yourself if you want. Okay, I think that's it for now. It's great to see you all. Tana here. If I didn't get to introduce myself to you personally yesterday, I am a 20-year career-long psychic reader turned wealth activator specifically, and spiritual business mentor, but kind of with a flair for luxury. I talked yesterday a little bit about it, so I won't like bore you guys with the same story, but my main value and shtick here, I'm going to mute some of you guys here, is really that I, I literally was in tears yesterday about how grateful I was to be in a container, albeit it's intimate, right? With us, there's not like hundreds of people in here, but it's a container that is the most authentically aligned way I could show up. And for who? I mean, I was just in tears last night. I was like, God, just help me put money in the hands of light workers' pockets. That's it. That's all I want to do. I'm sure I have other life lessons that are in my life categories. God knows the Venus retrograde's got my love all topsy-turvy, but like the thing is like the thing that's mine that I want to give to the world is I want people like you guys to be completely well resourced with, and I'm going to say it because no, it's not said enough, cash money. Not above everything else, but not forsaking it either, because I believe that the money is an energetic resource that you deserve for a high value exchange of your time and energy and whatever, right? So if you're doing the best work of your life, you should be getting paid the most of your life. You should be the most resourced and supported in your entire life so that you can go out and serve the best and give the best that you could in your entire, of your entire life, right? And if there's anything I really, really love to do, Sonia says, yes, thank you. If there's anything I really love to do, it's to elevate and expand. I do it myself. Lindsay knows this. Jen knows this. I've gone to events with you guys before. Literally, Steph knows this. I've been at events with events are one of the things that expands me, but also, just figuring things out. Like Lindsay and I were just talking yesterday about, ClickFunnels 2.0 and figuring out all that bro marketing stuff so that whatever I need to distill for you guys, I can do. Right. And we'll talk a little bit more about like business stuff on business day. But like, I just want you to know that I'm here wholeheartedly to try and line your pockets with cash, because when you do have that, the impact that you can make will be not only unstoppable, because you always were unstoppable, but it will be so resourced that even in moments where you've ever experienced you couldn't give as much as you would have liked to, those moments will be few and ever far between. Because when you guys, with your hearts and your missions, have all the blocks removed, can you fucking imagine? I can. It's the vision I hold in my heart and in my eyeballs and in my inner eyeballs and my third eyeballs, all of them. Like that's it for me, you guys. That is it for me. It's the hill I will die on. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited to jump into today. I'm going to leave it on the gallery view here if I leave it on gallery view, do you guys like have a choice whether it's gallery or just me? I don't host these, and you guys can choose whether it's gallery or me, because I like looking at you, but when I spotlight myself, all I see is myself. So maybe I'll leave it like this for a while. Okay, if you want to just be less distracted and just see me, I think you guys can control in the upper right-hand corner, just blowing me up. We'll do that, okay? So I can keep looking at your faces. Uh, so yeah, welcome to day 2 of the Rich Intuition Experience, where this is kind of what we're cooking up here. And I've got this 5-step journey for you because there is a method to elevation. At least in my world, there are different stops to pull out and when, right? So yesterday we talked about as intuitives, you guys already have been channeling not only an awareness of your desires and what you're attracted to, but also deep down an awareness of what's going to close that gap for you, right? And I hope that if you didn't like really have it sink in while I was chit-chatting you through it yesterday, if you needed some like one-on-one time to just sit and stare at it, I hope you gave that to yourself. And even if you didn't have time to like go deeply, I hope you understand the process enough where you can do this on your own at some point, okay? Because I like to do this exercise at least once a month. And I like to do it on different subjects. How many of you guys saw I posted in the Facebook group this like live that I did? When was it? Like last few weeks back, 3 weeks, 4 weeks back, I don't remember. But I was focused very much on there was someone who inspired me, a muse. And it's not really about idolizing that person. Thank you for asking that question, a couple of you. Like, it's not really about that. It's more about actually just having a space and time that I can observe, like something that is observable. So to me, having a muse manifest the embodiment of something. It directs my attention in a way that I can see and understand what it looks like in action. So that's what the muses are about for me. So I had this muse that was sort of this baddie, and I realized that the CEO that I wanted to run my business was not my tame, timid self all the time. She gets the reins sometimes when it's appropriate, but I wanted this like baddie energy to kind of come in and fulfill a position on my Tana panel, right? So I set this muse and I did a whole riff in the Facebook group about like the things that I subconsciously or consciously started realizing I was doing. And I was comparing, not for the purpose of beating myself up, never that. And also not for the purpose of necessarily coddling myself either. That's the wrong idea. The purpose of it was awareness expansion, just expansion of awareness. And so what I was doing is I was using this inspiration, this muse to say, I like, it's almost like shopping. You guys all shop for clothes, right? Maybe you don't buy as much as Tana buys. I know Sunny loves to shop clothes too. Sunny and I have talked about clothes a million times. But when we see it modeled, we get an idea of something, right? Oh, I think that look cute, or if that looks like me, or that doesn't look like me, or look a little different, right? Sunny's short, so if she sees something modeled and it's way too long, she's like, probably I drag the bottoms along, right? Sunny, but I'm taller, so I'm a little different, right? So you guys get the picture. Like it sort of helps us project out what we can. Sunny's putting a heart, yeah. So like I hope that you're inspired to either pick a muse, or if the muse just didn't land for you and you need to just think about ideas, define the difference between where you feel you're at and where you're somehow putting something else on a pedestal. And I'm not saying bring it down off the pedestal, and I'm not saying give it too much energy for being on the pedestal. I'm just saying, how do we get to the pedestal? How many steps in between here and there? So we can just start to get some movement, right? So yesterday was all about lifestyle, the intuitively led lifestyle. And I wanted you to recognize that you're already being intuitively led by what you desire, what you're attracted to, what you have an appetite for, what you have a passion for, the things that you lean into instead of recoil. I also made this post on Instagram today. I said manifestation, but make it sexy. So I'm going to share something I have private one-on-one clients right now in a 30-day container with me, specifically. And one of my clients was trying to open up her magnetism, but she was trying to do it kind of like, what do I need to tweak so that I'll get this or that? And I said, girl, you need to be at the bar wanting a spicy night, putting out the vibes instead of going up to guys and asking them to buy them a drink. I'm like, stop, like, let Daddy Universe make the first move. You just lay back and put the vibes and you just wait and see what offers are coming, right? So that's kind of a spicy way that my client responded to, and I had a little fun with on Instagram today. But the idea is that as intuitives, and that leans more in the feminine, we're receivers of information. And so whether we're, in our masculine and making certain things happen here and there anyways, we have to recognize that we can set our sight upon a desire, set our heart, our internal systems on a desire, and then our desires continue to speak to us moment by what we're attracted to and what inspires us. And so the idea was that you're already being led. And I wanted to see where you were already feeling that happening, because we're going to build on that today. And before we go into what we're going to do today, I want to just give an opportunity for if anybody wants to come on, if anybody had a powerful experience or just like an aha moment that was like really clear or like even maybe something that you're like, I'm unclear. I'd like to ask you a question about it, Tana, but can we just like put a little bow on what we did yesterday by having anybody share, one or two people, or it doesn't matter, but just like you could just unmute yourself if you want and just tell me like your takeaway with that. Did anybody have something good? Who's brave? Liliana did a video or a post. Can I hear?
All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So pretty much what I got from the experience was just really a moment of just being accepting that, you know, it's okay for me to want um, this sensual energy coming through. And it's okay to be wanting to be sensual, to have that magnetism that comes through, and just really being compassionate with myself and accepting it. And also, I think like another, after I posted that, I had another realization is that being psychic is about senses. It's about senses. So I think, and I'm getting chills when I'm saying this too, it's so being sensual and being psychic kind of intertwines. And so it's just time to put away the shame that comes along with that and just embrace it and just go along with it.
I love that. And
Yeah.
and something like when it comes to um being sensual or sensuality, that's something that kind of hits close to home in the emotions because it's like one of those very sensitive places. So if we don't remove ourselves from how this isn't supposed to work, it isn't supposed to say you want to be more sensual, so beat yourself up because you're not sensual. And it's not you want to be sensual and whatever the opposite of that would be, right? So like it's not about assigning some sort of value or worth to yourself. It's simply about I want something and I'm going to get it. Like it's not anything about worth. It's all about experience. So if you say I want sensual, like I too, Liliana, I've been kind of like playing with my lover girl energy lately. And it's because I have this coach in my space who's like, every time she does an offer, she posts pictures of like honey dripping from a mouth. And she's like, it's very sensual. And so she's kind of like activating my little lover girl, and she's fun. And she's also in my container that my coach hired me. That happens a lot. So she's in my container. I'm in her container. And anyways, it's fun because she plays with that sensual and the senses, right? And I could in the reading room. Some of you guys are in the Rich Intuition Society. I know Steph and Sonia were just talking about this the other day with me. I was looking into trying to increase my sensuality. And so instead of being like, I'm going to beat myself up because part of that is a little awkward, I'm just focusing on what I need to do to open it up. So it's like I'm taking the worthiness out of it and just saying, I want something, I'm going to just go ahead and take the steps to get it there, right? And so the feminine part comes in when I decide and desire what I want, and then that intuition tells me where Daddy Universe provides and gives me the tool I need to like put myself into to make that close the gap. So thank you for sharing sensuality. That's a really amazing one, and I love that. I think some of us are playing with that Venus energy right now, be it that she's in the underworld, collecting all of our things we need to break through. So
Yeah.
always fun to talk about sensuality because it is really connected to our psychic abilities. Does anybody else have anything else they want to say before we go on? I would love to hear.
Hey, Tana.
Hey,
I how are you?
I'm good.
Um,
How are you? It's good to see you.
long time no see, I know.
Yeah.
I'm still sick, so I'm trying
Oh,
to, my brain isn't really working, but
it's okay. That's all
I
right.
tried to do what I could, and for me the biggest like thing is I think just perfectionism and
Mhm.
like so much fear around just doing things and like feeling like I'm not doing the right thing or I'm
What
not
things?
saying
I'm
the
so
right thing.
curious. Like, can you
I
name
think
one
just
thing?
showing up, just like a lot of it is around posting and things I'm
Yeah.
creating.
Yeah.
Like I always feel so censored by myself and like so like overthinking everything, like reading my posts like 5 times before I'm like, okay, I can post
Yeah.
this thing, just instead of just kind of feeling in flow and just not being so attached to like the outcome, or I don't even really know, like I'm trying to dive into
I can really
why,
relate to this because
you
this
know.
is one of the more challenging ones for me too sometimes, but I always try to return back home to this vibe. So for me, Virgo, analytical, overthinker, generator, like
Hmm.
I'm constantly like
Same.
reworking, over analyzing and whatever. But and I too could say many of my lists, Annie, many of my lists have I think I just even mentioned it yesterday, didn't I? Someone posts content every day and I don't. Didn't I just have that on my list yesterday? Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
So like posting content and the thing is I could get in my head, but it's like this exercise is meant to be intuitive and feeling in the way where we just simply are attracted to something, and then we literally put down the worthiness stick, the shame stick, the make meaning of it stick. We put all of that away. We put all of that away, and instead we just go no BS, name the steps in between, and then we don't emotionally attach any praise or anything. We just stay focused on the what, right? It's almost like we're running a race and we're in the Olympics, right? And we're like, or have you guys ever seen, I love this movie. It's got Kevin Costner and it's like the baseball movie For Love of the Game. Have you guys ever seen that movie? He does this thing, he's a pitcher and he's like he gets on the mound and the whole the crowd is going, wow, peanut gallery, right? Like all of our emotions and thoughts are just telling us everything, right? And he does this thing, he grabs the ball and he thinks in his mind, he says, clear the mechanism. And I love a good shortcut, a psychic shortcut. And the crowd fades down and it becomes quiet and he has one job: pitch the ball right there. And it's not emotional and it's not distracted and nothing has a chance to interfere with him and the task at hand. And so, Annie, you and I, and anybody else who can relate, using this method is going to be more about saying, what do I want? And how can I stop the train from leaving the station and take me over to Guilt Town, Worthy Town, like over analyzing my value town. Okay. And we're
Hmm.
just gonna stay, and get on the one train that just goes from point A to point B. So easier said than done, but when we don't get distracted by the peanut gallery of all the worthiness stuff, it'll be just easier to focus and do the task at hand. So then it could be about, Annie, you and I both can relate to this, being noticing of like what type of content inspires us. Like what if it just inspired us and we didn't go, because the idea around this, you guys, is not to go, oh my God, look what they have. I'm not that. Not in the way I said it. It's like, ooh, look what they have. I'm not that yet, but that's what I'll go get it. That's the vibe, right? And so we just want to try
Yeah.
to return back home to that. And of course, when it comes to content and processes and what you're going to write about, it's a little more nuanced than just simply, click a button and the post is done. But but that's the
Yeah.
vibe that we want to stick with, right? We want to separate the part that's intuitive from the part where we're getting overly involved in, assessing our self-worth, right? And
Right. Yeah.
so yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. All
Yeah.
right,
Thanks
y'all.
for your
So
feedback.
yeah, you're welcome. So this is what we're going to do today. I'm super excited about this. This is intended to be a little playground of psychic mastery. As you know, this is kind of like a behind the scenes of what it's like in the Rich Intuition Society. That's our primary like signature offer in my business right now. And it has the 5 playgrounds. The number 1 is just lifestyle. So we talked about like that in relation to who we are as spiritual entrepreneurs in the world and what else other than our business is happening in our lives and how are we feeling and all those things. And today we're going to do playground number 2, which is like I call it the reading room, which is like our psychic mastery. And it's less about kind of like teaching you new skills because you guys are all very skilled intuitives. It's more about taking you out for a spin, showing you a good time, putting your intuition in the driver's seat and let's go somewhere with it. So what I have planned for you today is who'd like to do a little quantum leap and timeline jump today? Who doesn't mind going and scouting out another timeline? So I have a really great sound bowl activation by our very own Jen, Intuitive Jen here on Team Tiana. She's prepared this and handed it over, and we've put it in the Rich Intuition Society just as one of the resources, and it's called Money Frequencies. It is a sound bath that's about 20 minutes long, and as we listen to the sound bath, and I'll explain if you want to get comfy or whatever, I'll explain that in a second, but as we listen to the sound bath, I'm going to lead you through just like a 20-minute drop-in kind of timeline shift, where what I want you to do is just turn on your awareness and go with the place I'm telling you, so that we can stop and peer in to, here's the idea, you guys. The highest timeline that you can possibly align enough to see from where you stand today. Sounds perfect, Annie says. So, oh, and Rachel, you've seen that movie? Great movie. Yeah, good. So the purpose of I kind of like was like back and forth whether I wanted to explain myself first or like do it and then explain it, but I'm just going to explain it first. The reason working with, I'm not trying to say working with me is like the best thing in the world. I mean, but the reason, one of the really great things about working with me, if you're in my space for a reason and it resonates and I have something for you and this is what we're doing, one of the reasons the work we do is so fascinating and important, and maybe Sonia, she maybe going to share her story yesterday, but she can't be here tomorrow, but she can't be here tomorrow. So maybe I'll let her talk for a second. But the whole idea, you guys, is so often, and especially in our industry, because it's a little tough sometimes in our industry is not necessarily experts at all things business. Our industry, we're sensitive, we're intuitives, we're compassion people, we're empaths. We don't always have like the business side as a second nature. You know what I mean? And some of us want to run a business so we can help people, but we don't even want to run a business. Like really, like no, you know. So sometimes what happens is I find that it's all too easy to build offers and containers, brands, pricing, programs specifically, marketing methods, audiences, from a place of what you only think is possible from where you stand. And the reason why you might think only certain things are possible is because you haven't seen it done before. You don't know how you would do that. You don't think the audience you have right now would pay that much, buy that thing, work for you that long, pay that quickly, right? Things like this. And you're going off of, and God bless you, okay? But you're building your offers and your businesses accidentally based on old timelines because you're only believing what you've already seen. But when you're building from a place where things that have not happened to you yet are just as possible as not, audiences that you don't have yet exist, buying behaviors that none of your clients have ever had before are real behaviors of certain people, right? Then and you know, we'll talk more about business tomorrow, like the tactic and the nitty-gritty of really getting clarity on like the who and the what and the and all that. We'll talk, I promise. Tomorrow's going to be amazing. Sorry, Sonia. You'll have to watch it in the replay. But but the thing is like building from a place that you have not seen proof of yet. It takes some cojones, yes? But it's no less possible and destined and yours, and people are doing it already. Just because they haven't done it in your business and you haven't seen it, or you're looking around at other spiritual entrepreneurs, because unfortunately our industry lacks like a little bit of pizzazz in this area. You're looking around and you're only seeing people that are really high up, like maybe they're Hay House authors or whatever. And then there's people down here who are all struggling to pay their bills. And you're like, there's nothing in between. I don't know what the vision is, right? Heaven forbid you even go higher than some of those Hay House authors. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like you could be the next Oprah of spirit or whatever, right? And maybe Oprah's not even the limit, right? So what I want to do today is get you into a timeline where you're not seeing what you've already seen. You're not knowing what you've already known, so that we can be aware of what is for you. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about actually comparing your offers, your pages, your pricing, everything, your audiences, your messaging, whatever you need help with, to say, is this that element that matches the vision of where spirit and you are trying to go, not where you've been, right? That's the purpose of today. And if you guys would allow me to, I'd love to bring Sonia on. Sonia's in the Rich Intuition Society. And like literally the reason why I want to ask her about this is because we literally just talked about this the other day. She has done this timeline meditation. How many times now? You can unmute. I'll ask you to unmute.
Oh, I've lost count.
Yeah. So tell me, like, just quickly, like, how does this sit with you, this process that I'm explaining? I know you're building from a big vision, and we're building your website out, and you're like, it doesn't have to be quick, it has to be big,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing that I've learned is how my thought process in the past had been based on experiences that I'd already lived, and switching that to, okay, because I left a vision and I get these intuitive understandings and these psychic feelings to design from that place, not from, well, my clients usually like to pay one at a time. It's like, okay, that's because you've said to me many times, that's what you've experienced in the past. That's not what has to happen in the future. So let's put that aside and let's really tune into what it is that you're feeling is possible and design from that place, from that timeline. It really is a quantum jump from, and it takes a leap of faith and it takes some risk. And it's all the stuff that we were working with yesterday, is to really embody the possibility and design from that exciting place. And that's what I find so compelling, because to know that it's already in existence, it already exists for me and for everybody. It already exists. I just have to rise up to it and then design into it and receive.
Yeah. And you've been building a really cool brand called
Quantum Destiny.
Destiny. So you're really locked into it. And that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted you to share because like that's
Thank
something you guys are doing. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do, I'm going to light some Paulo. I'm going to do a little blessing for us because we're going to go into a psychic space. But what I'd like you guys to do is to decide here for a minute if you'd like to maybe lay down somewhere. You don't have to. It's about 20 minutes. Okay. So you can just sit straight up and, headphones or no headphones or whatever, just kind of sit and meditate. Or I'll prepare you now if you want to go turn your volume up and take the nearby recliner or futon or bed or something, and you want to lay down in vision, you can. Like I said, it's 20 minutes, so you should probably know your temperament for being able to sit 20 minutes in meditation. And then while I allow you just a minute to get comfy, I want to do just a quick blessing so we open up psychically while we're sharing space together. And then we'll jump into that. Does that sound okay? Okay. So everybody just take a nice deep breath. I want everybody to go ahead and call in their guides, their spirit wisdom council, right, Sonia? Your ancestors that watch over you, your galactics, whoever you work with, okay? And just ask them not only to watch over you, but to really help you quantum leap here as we choose the timelines that are for us to view and peek into. Maybe ask them to help drive the car that will take us there, okay? So ask for their support in this so that you land in the right places and you get the right details that are really going to lead you and your mission and your business, especially as we go into day 2 or day 3 tomorrow, where we're kind of looking at the things you're building in your business and comparing them to these visions. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, which is going to bring up a little sound bowl meditation, and then I'm going to talk over it. So you guys can stay on mute. You're welcome to leave your cameras on or off, whatever you feel, okay? Give me a second for the technology, you guys. Okay, here we go. All right, take a few deep breaths, allowing yourself to feel centered and present, but not present in a way where there are distractions, present in a way where you're going inside on an inner journey. The version of yourself that you're striving to become is already here. Imagine that it's just waiting for you to step into it. And all it takes is for you to just decide that you are ready to align with that version and show up as her every moment, every day, without exception, until maybe you decide to evolve once again, because that's always allowed. The business that you desire is already in existence too, just like Sonia said. So it's more about tuning into the frequency of that vision, aligning with it, and letting it manifest as your highest calling. Some say time is an illusion, and I think we all have some sense of that, being intuitives. We're continuously reborn with every thought, seemingly every second. There's no past or future version of you in this ideal. There's only the version of you that you're choosing to embody right now. So the moment you make a decision to become the highest version of yourself, she will show up. And if you are ready to make that choice, to see her, to consider letting her show up, then you are ready to begin. Y'all, we are not bound to this current version of ourselves. We are not limited by where our businesses are today. We have the power to transform them, to create something entirely new that we have not seen yet. We've been conditioned to believe that time moves in a straight line and that our identities are on a fixed course based on where we've been and where the more obvious future would take us. But that's not true. You have the ability to create something new simply because you desire it. And the universe, supporting our desires, creates the way. Once you decide you're ready, it happens. And today, I'd like you to welcome the new version of you to be seen. Right now, this is a new timeline for both you and your business. It's a new reality, the one you've probably been preparing for your whole life, mind, body, and spirit. Take a deep breath. I want you to picture an electric energy building within you, radiating specifically from your heart. And with every inhale, I want you to imagine it's charging your body one at a time. Start to feel the power growing, the energy intensifying. Start feeling the universe converging around you, growing stronger, more vibrant. And the first thing I want you to do is actually notice that your body, when doing this, is vibrating at a new frequency. Try to reach a frequency that you've never experienced before. Let it fuel. You're going to have with a new frequency. Feel how it would feel to wake up as this new version. What would she look like in the mirror? What steps would she take? What new opportunities would unfold? If you were her, how would you serve others? How would it be different because of you, because of her? Through your body and feel the emotions sort of awakening you. So I'd like you to now imagine that you're standing on the threshold of 1 year. Anticipation coursing through your veins as you observe your surroundings. So it helps you down at the ground to figure out, where are you a year from now? Down at the walls, the ceiling. Notice if you're outdoors, who is with you? Are you on a stage? Do you have a client? Do you have great love in your life? What can you learn about your business in this moment? Look at the details of the scene. Perhaps you're in a cereal and flickering candles, or maybe you're surrounded with other fellow intuitive coaches and healers. Maybe you're doing some sort of collaboration. Like I said, maybe you're on a stage during audiences. Maybe you're on a podcast about a book or a movement you've created. Glance around, find a journal that you've been writing in this past year. See it in your mind. Pick up the journal, a symbol of your reflection and personal growth, and look. Find notes, offers in your business, price points perhaps, marketing methods. Notice where it says how you've been helping clients and what kind of work it looks like that you're doing these days. It's a clue to how far you've come. Set down to shift our focus now, jumping timelines to the highest 3 years from now. You stand on the threshold of your highest business timeline 3 years from now. What do you see? Look at your surroundings. Who's by your side? Do you have a microphone pack attached to your waistband? Is there a TV around you? Maybe you're somewhere in another country. Powerful. around. Perhaps you find yourself in a circle of like-minded souls celebrating. What are you celebrating? Take a seat somewhere, and in this 3-year timeline, pull out your cell phone. Check your bank balance. What's your bank balance? At your desk where you're sitting, you also have access to a computer. Type in your, navigate to your website. Click where you have listed your offers and look at the evolution. What kind of services or programs are you offering on this high timeline? What's the price and how far advanced does it look like your book? Take a moment, if there's any other tab on your website you want to see, click it. Feel into it. In this 3-year timeline, feel a deep sense of alignment with your purpose. You're living your truth and you're making a difference in the world. Doing it. And now I want you to stretch yourself really far, expand fully into the highest timeline. 5 years now. Let your imagination carry you into the future. Don't try to see anything. This comes to you. As you stand on the threshold of your highest business timeline, 5 years from now, where are you? Talking about your philanthropic movie set? Are you reading at home and enjoying some personal time because your business runs with you? Back for people who've been waiting all day to stand in line and speak to you so you could sign your book that they're taking home to read? Allow yourself to focus in the vision. Your business has become a beacon of light and transformation. Perhaps life with countless individuals around the world. You're a source for inspiration and empowerment. You should grab a nearby tablet or computer screen. You've been featured in the media again. Let's take a look at your article. About in this PR feature, it mentions how many clients you've served. How many is it? If they've included quotes from the people's lives who you've touched, what do they say? Your work has made a global impact. And by now, you're contributing to causes around the world to create the ripple effect of more than just your own personal work with clients or clients' clients. You're actually supporting causes that have nothing to do with your work because you're resourced enough by your business to do so. Your business has become a global phenomenon, touching hearts with the true essence as you're living in it. Highest purpose. Now I want you to think about all those visions you just had. And I want you to get ready to release this energy of creativity into the world by shifting everything in your life and business, at least for the next few days. This week will not be the same as it's been before. When I count down, recharge heart. And I want you to release it into the universe so that it lands, that you will anchor into. 3, 2, 1. Blowing one of those for the wind, you release now. They belong to the universe. They're returning to the universe. Imagine colorful streams of light extending from your heart and your body all the way around the earth. In every dimension and timeline, she exists. Imagine the presence of the highest timeline and your now timeline, forever now merged at this point, becoming one. Feel yourself shift into this new version of your future. And as you back into the world, at this, you no longer have to be the person you once were. Everything can be different now. You, this, your life, because now you've connected the streams, you've created a new path for all of it. And if you ever feel lost, you can remember these colorful streams of light that sew the timelines together, the now and this future. These visions to anchor into, reminding yourself what you're here to create and how you're intended to exist. I'll leave you here for a few minutes. Get any other guidance, visions from your guides, and we'll come back in just a minute or two. Okay, take your time. Take a few deep breaths. Come on back when you're ready. No rush though. Take your time. Steph said something was off with the sound. Sorry about that. We tested it and we thought it was working okay. Hopefully it wasn't too distracting. Were you guys okay? It's all right. Sorry about that. Zoom is a little tricky sometimes with sound. I'm trying to think, like, do I have this video somewhere else that you can enjoy this sound healing again? No biggie. Okay. Sorry about that. So, it might have been something that you have to sit with for a minute. So I don't want to put anybody on the spot that doesn't feel ready to speak out on what was going on here. But the idea tomorrow, when we do our business day, is to actually compare lovingly at the roast day. Bring your CEO blazer tomorrow. We're getting serious. We're getting down to business tomorrow. But I invite you to, submit to me on the Facebook page your sales pages, your offers. Think about in terms of your pricing, your containers, your Instagram feeds, your biographies, whatever, right? Because the idea is that we want to show up in business as the version of yourself that is what you saw. Okay. We want to start building the big business now and not building reactively or offers reactively or messaging reactively. And I want to tell you guys here before I see if anybody wants to share it that I've literally been doing this, especially over the past year and a half or so. When I first built my first business program, to be quite honest, I built it from the audience that I had around me. And I learned that what was moving through me, as far as like the inspiration I had and what I wanted to share, it was less of a match for the people who were already around me. Because the people who really were ready for what I was trying to teach were people that may potentially have needed to have a little bit more of an appetite for, and an alignment. Not to say that they were doing things wrong. I'm just saying that I tried to serve them a 5-course meal and they were here for a snack. And, or they, it was just like, I started to realize I can either change my vision to fit who's around me, or I can figure out how to get on the timeline where the thing I really want to do matches the people that really want to do it with me. And that there's this integrity behind that alignment, right? And then I also did it even recently again. I had an offer that I wanted to tweak. And I thought about, I mean, even a conversation like last night I was having with Lindsay about like, hey, if something needs to be adjusted, do I shuffle my vision down to meet people where they're at? Or do I create an entire society with 5 different programs because one wasn't enough and now 5 is greater? And I, right? Thus birth the Rich Intuition Society. But like the thing is like for me, I bet on myself and it's really not myself. It's on that vision of my future self in that timeline. And so even if I'm scared or I don't know how to do it or I have successes and failures when I first began, I always choose the bigger vision. And I feel like when you're in my space, I can hopefully help you do that because you're not only watching how it applies like literally in real time with me, but that's what we're just deciding to do together. We're saying, you and I, all of you and I, okay, we're saying no more playing small. I call BS. You guys have a vision in your heart and the world needs a certain thing from you. And if you're over there trying to fit into boxes that are old crusty boxes and not beautiful rhinestone diamond ring boxes, or whatever. I'm just trying to compare like something busted and something beautiful. Like the thing that really resonates, the thing that really holds the diamond that you are, that your mission is, however you want to think about it. Like it makes a difference. What you create, let me give you an example. If you don't think that the audience around you would work with you for a year, then the containers you're offering, let's give a juxtaposition. A 1 hour reading session or a 1 hour session versus working with you for a year. Which one do you think will actually do your light work the best? But which one do we tell ourselves they only want? If we're building from this low bar of thinking they'll only buy, they'll only see the value in, they're not capable of doing any more, and we let ourselves believe that, we leave so many of these possible timelines that are so expansive that exist completely on the table, never to be touched. And it's just a choice. That's the thing about it. It's just a choice. There's no one better or the other. You're going to learn whatever lesson you choose. So why not live extraordinarily? Get into a state. We'll be doing state work on Thursday, like changing our state to jump into like the version of her. But on our business day tomorrow, we're going to look at and just, an honest, again, kind of like closing the gap. It's not about your worthiness. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing. It's just saying, no BS. How do I get from point A to point B? If you've been building your business and your offers on the old timeline, but we just now saw a new timeline, what offers did this person do? How are they showing up? Their level of leadership in a 1 year container versus a 1 hour session, that calls a different leader now, doesn't it? It calls a different leader. You're going to have to grow or show up or tell us who the hell you are, even if you're already her. Okay. Like, she's not the same girl. She's not. I know that because I wasn't either. The girl that was doing 1 hour readings and the girl that now has like a 30-day retainership where I'm like in there dropping stuff for all these people all the time, or the person who had one program about psychic development and the girl that has an entire society with 5 different programs. It's not the same girl. She's not the same girl. So you get to choose. There's not even a right or wrong. I'm just saying, here is the buffet and it's all you can eat. And the more you have, the more you can give, whether that's energy or happiness or resourcefulness or whatever. So that's what it's about. Okay. Now that you've had a chance to simmer, does anybody want to share what came up for them? Any of you want to share even if it's not like the whole thing or a big aha, but just like one of your visions that you saw on your computer screen or that you saw in your bank account? Yeah, Liliana, go ahead.
So it was really interesting when I was coming in, and it wasn't quite set in stone. And I suppose that's a lot of with like going into future readings. It was elusive, and I really had to just kind of relax into it. Otherwise, like trying to hold on to that vision, it would just kind of float off. But I was hearing a lot, and the more of it was coming in from an inner knowing, the more visual of what was potential. What was visual for me was coming through was seeing myself step up on a platform and surrounded circularly with like crowds.
Yeah.
And feeling like a cape coming down behind me that was kind of feathery. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And all I can really just see is my feet going up and music going. And it was really interesting where I was coming through. But like, and then I was hearing the words, but butterfly effect repeated over and over and over again in my ear. Butterfly effect, butterfly effect. Okay. So, but the inner knowing was coming through is a lot of working with the divine feminine. I mentioned this too before with you, Tana, but it's more, but I know that is my direction of coming through divine feminine channeling. And I can actually sense most of my guides there with me in this process was the divine feminine. And so I know that's my direction. But the breakdown of everything like that, I know for certain that a lot of it is not a process of where I don't have the container within me, or even, it's not even that, it's just I don't want to be taking the reins so much in this business. So I was having help with an
Yeah.
actual physical person helping
Mhm.
me with like all the little details while I was being the visionary, I
Yes.
suppose, in the process. And so that was really clear, and at least the inner knowing instead of the visual work of what I just went through. So
That's beautiful. I love that you were saying butterfly effect. Do you guys know what the butterfly effect is? It was also a movie with Ashton Kutcher. Kind of weird, kind of suspenseful. Anyways, the butterfly effect also reminds me of something that one of my I am closely mentored in many different ways. Not one-on-one personally, but the AI app I tested, and like been to a bunch of different conferences with him. But Tony Robbins, right? The great Tony Robbins. He has this one story where he says, you know, it's a half a millimeter shift. When you're playing golf and you want to get, I don't know golf terms, so like on the green or near the hole or whatever, right? The way you whack the ball only has to be half a millimeter different to have a totally different trajectory. So the thing is you can be on the new timeline only shifting a millimeter today. And it's a totally different trajectory. And that's that butterfly effect, right? You change one thing and everything that follows is now on a different course. And that literally is the reason why I tried to, get you guys into the society here for a 5-day stretch, just to taste this energy so that you can just make that couple millimeter shift or whatever you are called to do now, right? And I'll tell you, me stepping into her, she's been millimeter shifts, but it's changed the complete trajectory. Like even a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I did not think I would look like this, have what I have. Like I'm a new woman. And why? Because I saw a vision for what I desired and it looked different than where I was. So I closed the gap a millimeter at a time, but closed it, right? Closing in, even still adjusting, closing in. So that's the idea. Because if we play small and we don't close in, then it's just a shame, because I believe our souls as light workers, however this looks for you, your version doesn't have to look like mine, look like Sonia's, look like Liliana's, look like anybody else. It doesn't have to look like anybody else's. But when we reach our intended capacity, there's no one in the world or in the collective that doesn't benefit, you know? So anybody else want to share a little point that they had? Yeah, go ahead, Tanya.
So I have felt for a number of years a book inside of me. And I didn't know which book it was going to be. I actually feel like there's a couple of them, but I've zeroed in on the one, and it's the Quantum Destiny Method. And I am so excited about this because it's what I've loved my whole life, which is people thriving in the ways that they're meant to thrive, which is what you do. I mean, you're helping me thrive in the way that I'm meant to thrive. Had a session yesterday, my first client that I've sold a package to, and she was in tears with gratitude. She was just in tears. And the things I was channeling, because the container is bigger, I'm able to hold more of it. And it is the jump of the timeline. And then her car broke down because she has to redo her car. There's all these amazing things that are happening that are showing her that she is stepping into a different version of herself. And that's what I saw really strongly in this vision that we did today, was me talking about this book, which is just it's the physical manifestation of what I feel I'm really here to be doing. And so that enthusiasm that I feel that will propel me when things get tough. This morning was a tough morning, so thank God you had this today. Because it isn't just a yay the whole time. It's a remembering of, yeah, this is why I'm here. This is why I was born. This is one of the main reasons, is in order to give birth to all of these different kind of things that I have felt, and now it's time. So thank you, Tana, for this and for your work and allowing the ripple effect to occur, because I'm working with you, and now the people that I'm working with are benefiting at an even greater level because I'm rising up into my higher timelines. And so I'm just super excited. Super excited.
This is a new container that you've put together, and you built it from a place not knowing that who would buy it or who would
It's
listen to it.
true.
And here you are in your first
Yes.
sell of it, and your website isn't even updated yet, and whatever, and you don't have any content out there, but you're already it's raising your leadership, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Because
It
the
is.
container calls the need for you to be someone different.
That's right. And what I'm experiencing is the difference between, just as you said, the one session. You can do a lot in one session, but it's nothing in comparison to a larger container. Like you're talking about the one versus the year long or a 30-day. It's really different. It's a different relationship to the client, to the work that's possible because of what we hold, what we can hold when we expand in that kind of way.
I
So,
love that.
yeah, super exciting. So thank you.
Super excited to see Quantum Destiny take the world by storm. Rachel's got her camera on. I think she wants to jump in. Go ahead, Rachel.
Coming in. Hello. I was sort of cleaning my house while I was listening, so it's spring break over here. So that was really great. I saw $1 million in my bank account. That was
Oh, yeah.
awesome. Yeah. And also it was really cool because I got more of this validation that I'm already doing it, and like it's already happening. Everything that I'm wanting is like already happening, and I'm already doing everything. I just need to relax and let it grow and expand.
Mhm.
So there was more of like a don't worry about it, don't stress about it. Like I block it as I bring
Yeah.
in any kind of
Big.
worry because it's already showing up for me. I just have to like believe and trust and like relax and just do it more. And that's how it's going to actually grow and expand in everything that I'm already doing. So that was really cool. That was really nice. It just was like helped me relax, to help
Yeah,
me
and like
just
not to, what did you say? Did you say block, or what was the thing you said could get in the way? How did you word it?
like just like worry or anxiety or
Yeah, any of the blocks, like
yeah, yeah.
time you take your thinking of what's possible and what you're doing and you make it small, that's the block. But because I know you are actually on fire right now and feeling very connected to knowing what to do and all that, as long as you're not limiting, from smaller thinking, you are locked into the timeline. Each and every one of you is. As long as you're not downplaying, you're locked in. You're making that millimeter shift, and you're on the right timeline. So I love that. You're just it was like just stay in the game, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. So it's great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And your higher self has a clean house. I love it.
Yeah.
Because she's cleaning. Anybody else? That's really all I have for you today. So we're just sharing for a little bit, unless yeah, we're done. Yeah, go ahead, Miriam. I'd love to hear from you. How was that?
For me, it was a little bit different.
Okay.
Because I think it was when we got to the third year, I was so exhausted that it
Mm,
was like I was doing all these cool things, but I was so tired. And I
mm.
just kind of went, that's not the new me, that's the old me. So I just wanted to share that yeah, it wasn't all peaches and cream.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
think it's interesting to think of this as far as, I mean, everybody's guides work a little different. Like, I'm not going to just set a meditation and each one of you has the same experience. That would be less intuitive and more functional, right? More mechanical. But your guides can show you things, perhaps. I'm not trying to make meaning of it. You'll know the meaning of it, but like perhaps going down the path without adjustments or doing things would lead you to a burnout. Or maybe it's kind of like Liliana said, I saw that when it was the way I wanted it, I wasn't doing all the things that burnt me out or whatever. So it's going to be really interesting. What do you make of it? Like, what do you think is the, like, what did you take away from the guides, like your guides or whoever, like showing you that and bringing you to that timeline? Like, what did you take from it? 111, Sunny says. 111. What'd you make of it?
Well, I took it as a warning.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't, I mean, I haven't sat with it and asked or anything, but I didn't get any sort of clear, like, this is what's causing it. And because it was like, I actually said, this doesn't really make sense because I'm on the stages, I'm doing the stuff, having a great time, and I'm falling over. It doesn't feel like there's nothing that indicates I'm doing the wrong thing as far as the work goes.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing I noticed and still noticing is I was alone.
Mm.
So maybe that's something I just haven't considered enough, is like getting some sort of admin help or something like that.
And
Because
also,
I
I
do
think,
everything myself, like everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I would sit with, like Liliana said, whether maybe that was some sort of cue to adjust, if you're getting some help in some way. Also, it's very common for people to exit their business after a certain amount of time for very good reasons. Like maybe after 3 years, you're like, did so good. I'm gonna go to Bali for a year.
Yeah,
Like,
that was actually, yeah, I did actually
and maybe
think that,
that's not a bad thing. Maybe that was just like, hey, you got 3 years and then you're gonna want to take your leave. And like, great.
yeah.
Let books sell in the background, have passive offers, things that are still helping and healing the world, but through things you've already created so that you can disconnect. I mean, it's really like I plan to have an exit plan in my business. I want to eventually just have an agency that's really like just done for you where I can drop in and, I'll have all these coaching things available, but like, so like we there is relevant like endings sometimes within I mean, it's not just a good big vision if you're hustling all the time or if you're out in the public all the time or you're constantly growing. Like it's just as beautiful when you exit, if that's your, so yeah, sit with all of that. I would
Well,
love to hear how it shapes up after you sit with it for a little longer.
thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And Sunny put her camera on. Did you want to jump in?
I too just got a lot of like reassurance. I saw different things at your different stages, just facilitator and author, but at the same time, it was just reassurance because, like, in September of 23, I walked away from everything and everyone. I burned it all down. I haven't. And in the background, I've been building something I created from scratch, my own healing modality. I've been practicing it and building it and really having it come to fruition and implementing it through the VA here and there. And it's going to be big and it's going to be amazing. And I put all my energy into it. And I just, it gave me that, yes, this is it for you. This is what you were meant to do. So that felt good.
Yeah. Sometimes just even spending quality time with the vision, you know, is
Yeah.
sometimes it can feel like we're reaching for a partner that we're not sure is there, like in our vision or in our calling, especially if we're looking at the present moment and just the circumstances or whatever. But spending that quality time is very reassuring, isn't it? Because it's like it exists now. I mean, it always existed, but now you can touch it in a way,
Great.
That's really powerful. Yeah. Is there anything in particular other than your modality? You said something about a book, right? Didn't you say a book?
Yes, I do. I saw myself on the bestsellers list.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
Yes.
But it has nothing to do with this woo-woo world. It was the true tale of an army wife. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote a freaking fiction book out of nowhere.
I know.
I woke up from like a dream vision. I went, I have to write a book right now. And Spirit was like, write a book, write a book, write a book, write a book, like intense, right? And then
Right.
I started 2 days later. And then in 6 months, I'm done with it. I'm dyslexic. I like literally never, I never had any desire to write a fiction book. And now my editor, when I submitted it, first of all, it just started a whole chain of events. But like my editor won't let me release the book yet. Like I was gonna publish it, and she's like, "No, Tana, like this is a good book. It can get on the bestseller list. The even if it's just the categories or whatever." She's like, "You can get on the bestsellers list, but because you're unknown author, you might need to just like lubricate with a couple of little like KDP ads, like
Right.
people see it and when they read it and it catches on, you can get, but so don't publish it until you're ready to do that." And I'm like, okay, I didn't even have that in my vision. But it's funny. It's like as a creatric goddesses that we have stuff that brings us into holistic expression so that the business is an extension of that, not all of it,
Right.
just like you have a beautiful family and all other things that you pour your love and your existence into. The business is just one aspect of it, but I mean, it's what we all have in common here. But yeah, that's beautiful. Okay. Yes, I love that. Curious, how many of you saw a book? Interesting. People see books sometimes. Yeah, okay. Not everybody. Some people see books. I'm going to pretend Jen's raising her hand because her photo's like this. So I feel like that's a yes. Jen, you're writing a book. We've made coloring books and workbooks. Maybe it's time for fiction. Just kidding. Okay, y'all. Well, you know what? We'll just end there because I know it's like a heavy day doing the meditation. Tomorrow, I totally do want to write a book, she said. So yes, I saw a book. I thought so. So do me a favor, you guys. Go into the Facebook group. Your homework tonight is to post a link or a document or an offer that you can like spell out right there in a post or whatever. Go in and tell me what you want me to, if you're brave and you want some feedback, and do it because it's great. Show me what you want me to audit. And literally what we're doing is we're comparing the vision that we had with something that is either currently implemented in your business, or maybe you're moving away from it and trying to figure out what to build instead. It could, like I said, anything from sales pages to offer documents to pricing to social media pages to websites, brand, anything. Okay. So your homework is to really think about it and think, what element like that would I love to be matched to the higher timeline versus where it's been or how it's been going as an extension of the past. Okay. So put that in Facebook. So I have a chance. If you don't put it in the Facebook group, you might still be able to get in with me tomorrow on this, but I'd love to. It's going to work best if I could go look at it beforehand and prepare notes, and I'll have more to say and more to help you with. So yeah, if you want to do that, that's the invitation. And I'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. If you have any CEO outfit you want to wear to get in the vibe and get into the state, go ahead. And by the way, just so you know, day 4 is our Lux party. So please feel free to bring your drinks in a champagne glass and wear your bougie jewelry or whatever, because we're just have some fun with it if you want. It's not required, but I'm going to do it because I'm going to teach you guys all about, yeah, for your gold mug. I love that. That's very fancy. So I'm going to teach you guys about like the science of hacking your state with things like dopamine dressing, or like how luxury becomes a part of it, and how putting it in your life and in your brand and in your time and in your space can actually change. I'm going to talk about state changes and the physiology and like all the things, which will help you more clearly embody the girl we saw today. Okay. So I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. And yeah, I'll see you in the Facebook group. Okay. Hugs and kisses. See you tomorrow.